this is sacred space. And that we are together, even as we are perhaps far apart. And we are together how and why? Because love brings us together. Love, a fibrous cord that knows no bounds, brings us close, close in our hearts, close in time that is beyond thoughts and words, beyond thoughts and words. There is no shortage of love. It is always in infinite supply, love. There is no anemia or anorectic kind of love. Love knows no bounds. And I think if we're honest, there is a feeling that somehow love is far away and that it's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to be loving. That's not true. Because love, again, is in infinite supply. Love is always there. Love is always trending. Love is always within us. Love is always around us. It is always upon us. It is always waiting on us. It is always serving us. So why this feeling that love is a challenge, love is hard, love is scarce? Where is the love? Let's just play a game that is spiritual twister right now. A little bit of a spiritual mental twister, and come at this topic of love, what it is and how to do it from a completely shifted, alternate place. Thank you to everybody who was here last week and all of the important, powerful shares that came up. And just lifting one right now. And that was from Rob. And Rob, I echoed what I believe many of us felt. It was honest. Feelings of confusion that upon hearing, I'm not going to say his name, but upon hearing about the killing of a certain white supremacist, why the feelings of perhaps or a lack of feeling at all. Maybe I will say it like that. The lack of empathy, a lack of care, a lack of sadness. Many of us have not wanted to admit that. I would hope that if you felt a almost certain indignation, a certain righteous rage, I would hope that you would allow it. It's honest. And we need to be honest, don't we, about where we are in this time that we are living in right now. Because to be honest, we've been jerking around for far too long. That's a nice way of saying it. So tonight, on this thing called love, let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the crap. If love is in infinite supply, let's go with this, starting here. If love is in infinite supply, there's no such thing as an anemic kind of love. It's literally everywhere. People say God is love. So if that it is infinite, then I think love can take it. Love can handle anything we throw at it. So let's cut the crap. Because we're living in beyond dire times. I'm sorry. This is the revolution of love. I minced words and I equivocated for far too long in the early days of this thing. I was one that was using nonviolence in certain moments, not always, but in certain moments, utilizing nonviolence in a way that was indeed enabling violence. It's true. Using love in a way that isn't about compassion or this infinite supply, instead using it to accommodate violence. So as we grow here at ROL, as a community, as we grow as individuals in this thing called life, this wild journey that is life, I pray that we all look at ourselves, like Rob mentioned, in an honest appraisal, in a way that is, instead of feeling disappointment, like in meditation, noticing, being keenly aware, attuned, like a fine instrument. So the premise is love, there's no shortage of. And that in this expansiveness that is love, that love holds us, that love in the most dynamic, the most unconditional, the best kind of good mother archetypal way holds us. Listen, sweetheart, I have you. I've got you. What is it that you need to tell me? What is it that you need to thoughtfully say to me in your tears and in your grief? And let's go another step since we're cutting the crap. What is it, sweetheart, that you need to rage? What is the rage? We can't talk about love tonight without talking about rage. So let's talk about it. Because see, they don't want us. I know I'm saying they, fill it in however you need to. They don't want us to integrate parts of ourselves, to integrate all of ourselves. Instead, it is these systems and these structures of violence and oppression, from white supremacy culture to patriarchy, name them, to heteronormative culture, to capitalism, that want to section us off into little pieces. Why? So we stay dysfunctional and sick. God forbid we should feel the rage of 1,000 lives God forbid we should get angry. And maybe not just angry, but rage. Let's talk about the feelings. Let's talk about feelings. I know it's, oh God, the feelings, the feelings. I'm not saying we can always live in our feelings, because ROL is all about taking action. It's all about being a change agent. But let's, on these Sunday nights, since again, we're cutting the crap, let's get into some of the feelings, like the icky stuff, the stuff that we don't want to feel, the stuff that, again, they don't want us to feel, these systems and these structures and all this cultural shit. See, we'll feel feelings in a way that's sometimes overblown, don't we? It's very hard for us humans to balance our feelings and our emotions. So often we go off the rails and we're in like this all-consuming state, or it's the other way, all the way together, all the way over to this side. We're not feeling anything. So one of our most lovely journeys back home to return is to balance. It's to balance this, all of these pieces of ourselves. It is to feel, absolutely. It is to feel. And so again, now let's go into the love piece. Love is calling us. Love is allowing us, and is saying, please feel it. Feel all of it. Feel the rage. Feel the weird, let's be honest, almost satisfaction about the death of someone that was a vile person. They were disconnected. They were disconnected from their imago Dei. That's, okay, is that judgmental? I think it's a judgment. I don't think it's judgmental. This is an individual that was disconnected from their imago Dei, and they were living out their white supremacist ideal. So love calls us forward. It calls us in. It allows us to feel that which we need to, that which we hope to. How? How do we rage? Well, we really don't most of the time, because we're taught that it's bad. It's bad to be angry. It's bad to be in a rage. I looked up rage. You know how I like to look up words. So I looked up the word, the etymology of rage, because I was thinking that for many of us that didn't have feelings about this white supremacist, that didn't feel disappointed. I think that was the word Rob used, like disappointed in, forgive me, Rob, if I'm twisting anything around, but a disappointment in ourselves for not feeling. Hold on. I just drifted. There's so much going on. There's so much in this head of mine, in my heart. Etymology. I firmly believe that it is the rage that needs to be expressed, that love is calling us into. That's where I ended up with this, and that's where I want to continue to go with this. So rage is a verb. As a verb, means to be in tumult. And this was wild. To prevail uncontrollably. However, let me go back, because I said I would. The etymology comes from the Latin, and I'm not sure I'm saying this right, so for people that know Latin here, feel free to correct me. Rabia, from the Latin rabies, rage, then from there, rage and madness, and then from Rebear, to be mad, akin to the Sanskrit word rabhas. To prevail uncontrollably, rage. Again, love calls us into our rage. These things are not separate, is the point. In fact, it's high time that we feel anger, rage, and stop criminalizing and stop pathologizing it. One of the first things I wrote when I jotted my notes down for this evening was that part of the reason I believe it's hard for us to love right now in a way that is transforming, or even to sometimes think about love, like on this day of peace, like these big idealistic things, is because we're exhausted. We're exhausted. And the exhaustion, I believe, is partly because we are too sectioned off. This part of me here, this part of me there. Okay, maybe I'll feel some anger over here. Maybe I'll have some grief time over there. I'll maybe even go to a grief group right here for an hour. I'll do this. I'll do this. This piece of me here. Bop, 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 bop. It's a mess. We're exhausted. But again, love is there. There's no shortage of this. So instead of this dualistic thinking of love and then the bad stuff, the anger and the rage and the parts of us that are just that maybe even delight, or maybe like all of this shadowy shit that when we see violence, we're like, I could really give two craps. Maybe it's about time. What if love was holding all of this for us? What if God was loving all of this space within us, all of these pieces of, feel it now, imagining that, however you believe in love, if that is God for you, if love is energy for you, whatever highest good or higher power, really imagining this full on encapsulation. Again, there's no shortage of love. And you know what else? There is probably no shortage of the rage that we need to feel, that we need to own. But yeah, so many of us were taught, no. You can't feel that way, right? The silencing. Again, we can name where all of these things come from, the ways that we're socialized, all these pieces. Be a good boy. Don't cry. Be a good girl. Don't talk back. Geez. What's left? What's left? So love is going to hold it for us. We have to just remind ourselves, oh, I'm being held. I'm being held. I'm being held by this love. And you know what? I am really pissed. I am really angry. And I do feel some weird, sick satisfaction. Things suck right now. From the raids to Gaza. Jenny has talked with us about Ukraine. All of these pieces, all of this is terrible. It's terrible. And even in our spiritual communities, we move too fast. We move too fast with this terrible, don't we? I mean, I can't stand spiritual bypass. But at the same time, if we live in this notion and this terrible, then how do we get anything done? And how do we survive? You know what, friends? It comes down to a big something that I never did at camp. It's like a massive trust fall. Never did it at camp. Wouldn't do it. Don't like it. Don't like being out of control. Have trust issues. It takes a huge, massive trust fall right now for us to trust that love is going to keep us together. That all of the parts of ourselves that we don't want, we think are going to take over this rage, this grief that is killing us, possibly physically, certainly spiritually, that if we really tap into it after all these many years, that somehow it's not going to end. We're going to end up on the damn ocean floor. It's not going to end. That's the lie. And that is the fear. And maybe not even fear. That is the terror. The terror. It's scary. It's terrifying. We have to trust. We have to trust. We have to trust with all our hearts, with all our might, and look around at one another and say, I believe we will do this. I don't know what the outcome is with any of this, but we will at least be in love together. The cord, the fibrous cord, we will be in this. We will be connected together. And maybe that's all we can really hope for. In Lord of the Rings, remember at the end of the second or third movie when Gandalf is talking to one of the hobbits and the hobbit says, there was never really any hope, was there? And Gandalf says, only a fool's hope. I'm not sure the hope matters. But the journey does. And the way we do it together. The way we cling together in love. The way we won't let them section us off anymore. Section off our rage over here and our grief over here and this over here and that over there to keep us dysfunctional and separate and keeping us thinking we're only individuals. We are alone. We die alone. We live alone on this planet. We push back from that and we say, no, we are in this love together. And there is nothing and no one, nothing that can separate that any longer. That's the trust. That's the trust. So love calls us in and says, give me your rage. Give it all. Give me everything. I will hold you. I've got you. All of you. You didn't feel so bad about that guy. Well, I got you. I love you anyway. And we keep it moving. We shed tears when it calls for it. And we keep moving if it doesn't. Because you know what? Our time here is not promised, is it? We don't know how much time any of us have. So there's no need to waste time on things, people, places, and things that don't care and are so alienated from love. We spend a lot of time doing that, especially us white folks. We like to hold space for a lot of bullshit. I don't know. Not the time. Not anymore. Love love calls us into our rage. And in that calling in, we feel all of it. And I don't believe we'll be uncontrollable loony toony running around here. I believe it's high time that we begin to integrate more and more of these pieces of ourselves. So why? So we have more energy. So we have more uplift. So we have more effervescence to love. See how that works? To build, to organize, to mobilize, to create, to dream, to vision, to be, maybe just to be, just to be. Imagine tomorrow you wake up and you feel that uplift from trusting love and trusting all the goobly gobbly parts that we think we have to separate. No, imagine what that would feel like to be living in that. You mean I don't have to be exhausted? You mean love isn't far away? It's not just some mere like kumbaya concept that I gotta push, that I have to keep on hustling for it? No, there's no shortage. It's all these different lies. Love. There is no shortage. There is only a surplus. And it calls us into all of it, all of our humanness and all of our extra ordinary, extraterrestrial pieces of ourselves. It calls us in and it calls us forward. Always. Remember this always, friends, even now. And so it is. Amen. And sitting for a moment.